Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
Hi guys, my name is Milan and welcome back to another Tokulook, where this time we'll be continuing with the final act of Gabu, with part 2 looking at episodes 37 to 43. I have made quite a quite a bit of notes, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see where we go with this one. Again, this segment is just split into a lot of two-part segments that just nicely flow into each other. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. We're starting off with episodes 37 and 38, where we have this random child coming in to Happy Party, and they are asking to help them out with their business because they're not getting a lot of customers at the moment. Now, obviously, because Shoma is curious, the people at this sweet shop, they provide them with some of the confectionery that they are making. One of them being dorayaki. Now, exclusively for this video, I've decided to eat dorayaki. Now, I think in a lot of sounds. I think in the video he has the chocolate one. Okay. I've had these before. Let's just hear what the editor thinks. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, editor approved. So we'll just carry on. No, you can eat that. It's fine. Uh, Now, at this moment, we also see Booker discuss, the fact that Lango has passed away. Well, in that regard, Booker says that he doesn't really care about the situation and that he wishes for Glotter to now be in charge of making press humans. Again, this guy really doesn't care. He just wants business to thrive. He wants things to go his own way. Which, again, we see like a scene of like Lizzo just coming in and she's just like, and who cares? You're gonna still do the work. And Neil's like, yes, we will. Now, at this moment in time, we also see Rakia dealing with the fact that his Rastam gear is broken. This is a result of when Lango first transformed into his brand new form. He slashed his belt, meaning that next time it actually broke down, and he has no other choice but to go to Dente for him to fix it. He asks him, Dente is actually quite pleased with it, because again, they've had this on and off interaction between each other. Dente was kind of worried. Understandably, I mean, Rakia is not so keen with Dente. I mean, he's the one that made the Dark Confections, but at the same time, he has he is kind of forgiven him, right? I mean, he has sacrificed himself for Shoma. He has done a lot of things for him, and he doesn't want to have any involvement with the Stone family anymore. And he's kind of seeing that, and we're gonna see like in the last stretch of the show that Rocky is having a bit of some time of reflection. Okay, he's thinking about the things that he has done, and he wants to come to terms with the fact that he has done these things, and he wants to atone for them, which I really like. Again, Rakia is a very retro perspective person in the show. He likes to think about the things that has happened, and he genuinely sometimes he feels ignorant, and when he realizes that he wants to do his best to make up for it, like this guy really cares, believe it or not. So I really appreciate him for that. But I'm talking a bit ahead of myself. I just want to give you a bit of a quick rundown as to what Raki is gonna be doing for the next few episodes. Shoma wants to help out this child, with this kid's sweet shop, and wants to do their best in promotion. So obviously they ask a VTuber, that VTuber from that previous episode. Yeah, they ask Rakia to ask him to do some promo. They ask some other things. They even ask Shoma's, sweet shop guy. I don't know why we're still focusing on them guys. Like, what was going on. And yeah, so they're trying to do that. And look, eventually we are going to have a bit of a one-to-one between Jeep and Shoma at the end of the episode. Now, why is this important? Well, Throughout this episode, we see that the person that is making the sweets is, this older guy, and he calls the kid young master because his actual master, the kid's dad that passed away, he was the one that taught him how to make the sweets and etc. And he has a keen fondness for the child. He wants to take care of the family, and he is the driving force for keeping the sweet shop opened. What we also find out is that he is a granny. He actually decided to not do any more dark confectionery stuff as a result of seeing this family. And then we see him transformed. And this is when Hanto has a bit of a reaction, because this is the episode where we finally meet the wolf granny, the one that took Hanto's mom away. Now, is this part of Jeep's plan? I don't really know, because the way they were investigating this seemed like they were catching onto something. They were catching on grannies that were slacking. But I don't know if Jeep was the one that suspected that he was the one that took Hanto's mom. Again, they don't really keep a record of that, so why should they care, right? So I'm just thinking, was it just a plan to lure Shoma out, or was it just a plan to lure Hanto into the situation? I really think they were just trying to have a one-on-one, because look, no matter what has happened, Shoma beat the heck out of Jeep. No matter what has happened, no matter what Jeep could try, okay? I mean, to be honest, in this episode, Jeep was about to be finished, but Lizzo just, just waved around. She's like, no, not today. You're not getting rid of my little sweet little toy. Shoma's like, okay, whatever. Now, in the next episode is when we get some more backstory. But firstly, we need to talk about the fact that Neo wants to do some more research, in the sense that he wants to turn Jeep into Bitter Gavv, and Jeep is having a mental breakdown about this. He's like, I'm not gonna be the same like this guy. Are you ridiculous? Like, what? Why would I steep so low as this? And Neo's like, well, you see, if you do this, you'll be stronger than him.
Stop the cap.
Yeah. And again, Lizzo's just like, oh, you're such a sweet toy of mine. You're such an adorable doll. You'll be fine. I believe in you. This is to enact revenge for your dead sister. But come on, it's fine. It's fine. Just like, in this episode, the main thing is Hanto. His resolve to get some peace for his mum, right? Like, he found out how she died. He found out the circumstances, but he wants to deal with the person that actually took her into the stomach warehouse. He's not having any of it. He goes into Happy Party, and he straight up just shouts at Sachiko saying, this guy is just not having any of this. This guy took my mom into the stomach warehouse, and he is dead. And Sachiko's like, okay. Like, she was just it's interesting to see Sachiko is trying to be very calm about this, but Hanto is again not having any of it. So this is when he has a conversation as a result of Shoma asking him. He has a conversation with the granny, and like I said, the granny actually owned a sweet shop himself in the granny realm, but that closed down as a result of some circumstances. He then turned into making dark confectionery, and he then stopped after seeing this family, and he persisted to continue making these confectionaries at the sweet shop after this guy passed away. And he acknowledges that what he did was wrong. He doesn't clearly remember Hanto's mom, but again, he feels deep regret about the things that he has done, and he accepts it. He says, look, let me at least finish these confections for the store, and you can do whatever you want. And Hanto's like, do your thing. Fine, do your thing. And they have a showdown, right? On one hand, you have Hanto, who has this one-to-one with this granny, and on the other half, we have Rakia and Shoma, with a now repaired Rastam gear. They have a showdown with Jeep, who transforms into Bitter Gavv. Now, I have a bit of a rant about this, okay, because this is very outside of show, but this form is called Baki Baki Stick. We've seen this Gochizo for an extremely long time. I don't know how long we've seen his Gojizo for. We've seen it on the like toy-wise for maybe 3 months before this film actually debuted. It's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what they were thinking. Because in my mind I always thought that the bitter Gavs would have other forms other than just the main form. So and then we have all these bitter Gavs that have come afterwards to have a form of their own. Again, I like the idea, but again, I just would have preferred if all the bitter Gavs just shared all of these utilities. They switched like Shoma would. It would actually put some stakes into the fight, because Shoma has to think like, okay, this power set is like so, let me fight against it with this. I thought that'd be neat, but instead we just have one form for one person, which is whatever. Again, the form looks cool, so I'm not complaining in that regard. But anyway, I don't care, because Shoma was supposed to win. That's another thing that I don't like. Jeep was literally finished. He thought he was winning in this, but I mean, Shoma was not even using over in Master Gavv, and he does, and he's literally about to finish off Jeep. Like, he does a finisher, but Jeep runs away, and Rakia literally says, "Are you not gonna go after him?" And Shoma's like, "No, not today." And I'm just like, "What do you mean not today? You were gonna finish him last episode," and I just like, "No, I feel sorry for him. For what? For what? This guy doesn't like you. Why should you care? He's not a good person. He's done all these bad things for you. Like, you have no reason to not kill him." But I don't know. It's just interesting decision, Shoma. That's all I'm saying. On the other half, I'm thinking like, are they just doing this for the sake of like, we have both people that are just like not killing off people? Because Hanto actually decides to not kill off the Granyu that took his mum. He tells him, "Look, as a Granyu, you are finished. I'm never forgiving you, but that life ends today. You are now living as a human. You are doing all of this with the sweet shop, and just do that. I never want to see you again, and I don't want to interact with you." And I like this resolvement, because throughout this whole time, he's thinking, what would his mum want for all of this? What, after all the things that have happened to this family, and he has come to the conclusion that killing this person is not right. He has someone to take care of. He has someone that they're dependent on. Again, it just shows how much Hanto has grown throughout the show. It shows how much he cares, and unfortunately, the Granny still dies because Glotta is on a bit of a kill streak. She's looking at all the Granyus that have been slacking essentially, and it's just she just cuts him off. She says bye bye, which is a kind of not. I felt a bit bad. I'm not gonna lie. I actually was kind of rooting for this Granyu. I was like, finally, we have a Granyu that was part of the Stone family that is kind of doing a good thing now. They atone for their sins, sort of. But no, Glotto's just like, nope, not having any of it. Speaking of Glotto, this is where we go into episodes 39 and 40. Quite a big one for Glotto and Rakia. We see that Dente wants to try Parfait. Sure. The reason is because throughout this time, Rakia has asked Dente to make an antitoxin for the things that he has, for the toxin that he's made. And we just see like a imagination of his where he tries to have a Parfait in the human world, and he just gets like ambushed by like people like just with like guns around. I just think that's funny. Just gonna leave that there. Yeah, just Dente is just fat, so I don't know why I said that. So yeah, the team's thinking, okay, so you clearly can't go out to have this food. Let's just make it for you. So we just have like the scene where to have this like Parfait thing, you have to buy a cup. You have to buy it separately. I was like, okay, we're going all out for this. And Rakia is just they ask him for what he thinks is good, and Rakia is like, this one's a bit better. It wouldn't go that well. And the people in there are just like, what? Keep in mind, a long rockstick can also eat metal granules. So I'm just like, okay. Thanks for the random facts, Rakia. Now, over in the Granule realm, we have some family matters happening. First of all, Lizzle is trying to do a little bit of manipulation. She tells Glotter about the fact that Jeep has had his Gavv modified, and he didn't tell her. I mean, who cares? Obviously, Jeep has, has no hate towards Glotter, but at the same time, it's not like she cares, right? So, or does she? We'll get to that. Now, as a result of Lizzle saying this stuff, Glotter goes to Neil, and I find it funny because Glotter comes in, and Neil's like, "Another bitch." Like, literally, like if you just watch the episode, he's just like, "Another bitch." So, like, leave this guy alone, man. Let him do his research. And she's just like, "Why did you do this? Why did you not tell me about it?" And he's just like, "Why do you care? Again, why do you care? You are doing this, and Jeep wanted this for himself." So, during this little bickering, she finds out that Dente is still alive. So she goes out to confront him, and this is an interesting section. So Dente has a one-to-one with Glotter, and Dente essentially says to Glotter that she is quite weak, in the sense that she's not asking Dente to come back for the sake of the company. She's asking it in a sense that, she's always cared about the family, and that she's always just been a bit selfish, and she doesn't realize it, and she's quite weak because of that, because all she cares about is the family and their well-being. Now, this is a bit too late in my opinion. Like, we're on episode like 39, and we haven't seen this character much. Okay, now again, I think Glotter as a character, I think they're quite badass. They've shown themselves to be like on a bit of a frenzy, right? When they want to fight, they see it as like an amusement. I think that was interesting, but apart from that, we don't see anything else. So now for her to get this development of her caring about the family a lot, I mean, if she really did, she would be asking about all of the family matters way earlier than she is now. So to me, it's not like it's like out of nowhere. It's just a bit late. I think we should have seen more of it. But overall, it's not the worst thing that I've heard from this character. Because the other thing that happens is, because she doesn't believe what Dente has told her, she just kills him.
No! Fuck!
And the trio come in, Sachika, Raki, and Shoma, because they made all these parfaits for Dente to try. And he's just laying there dead. Okay. And Glotter just leaves like, yeah, bye, I don't care. I guess I don't care as well. Bye, guys, I'm leaving. Now, at this time, we're having a lot of things happening. First of all, Sachika is mourning the death of Dente. This is the first time that things got extremely serious for her, right? Because, again, she has seen our trio going through all these things and trying to understand how the loss of someone that they cared about, affects them. But it hasn't gone as far as to impact her personally, because someone that she has, spent time with has now passed away in front of her. And Rakia, on the other hand, realizes that the slash mark is now identical to the one that his brother got, and he's not having any of it. They have this one-to-one with Glotter, and she basically says, "This guy, but I don't know any of these people. I'm like, they're probably just like not been doing their job. Like, they deserve their punishment." And again, she always says this thing. She always says these things, and Raki is just like, what is wrong with you? He's just like going out, try to beat her, but at this moment in time, she is just too powerful for Rakia, and he's nearly, he's about to get killed, but Shoma saves Rakia just in the nick of time, and that's when that episode ends. This is when we move on to episode 40, which I really like, actually. We start off the episode immediately with, first of all, Hanto finds out about what has happened, with Dente. It's a gloomy atmosphere. Everyone's just upset, everyone doesn't know what to do. And in that moment, Shoma's like, "Yo, Hanto, can you help me out?" And they make the parfaits that they're going to try out with Dente. And he's like, "Yo, Sachika, let's have these parfaits." And Sachika's like, "Really? Is this the right time for this?" And he's like, Well, yeah, I think we should have these. I mean, Dante wanted to try them, so let's have them, with him in spirit. I think it'd be quite nice. And she's like, yeah, okay, fine. And we see basically that Shoma is trying to grieve, but at the same time he's trying to cheer everyone up because his main thing is he wants to protect everyone. He doesn't want to just have everyone be upset. They have to do something, and we see that especially when Shoma is speaking to Rakia. He finds him because he sees that Rakia this entire time has been looking for Glotta, trying to, avenge his brother. And Shoma comes up to him with some rocks. He's like, yo, like, you need to eat up, man. Like, you've been out and about all day. And Rakia is just like, what is wrong with you? Do you not realize what has happened? Your grand uncle died. Like, why do you not want to go after Glotta? And Shoma's just like, look, I know it's like, no, actually, no, he doesn't say it like this. He's like, look, it's hard for me too, but I have to do something. I have to. I can't just stay around, cry all day. I have to protect. Like, it's the only thing that I can do, at least. And I think it's an interesting way to grieve in a situation. I remember when I watched it, I was thinking, like, are we not even gonna get a glimpse of Shoma, like, pouring out some tears? And again, I think in this circumstance, it's kind of fine. It didn't bother me that much because, again, Shoma's main priority is the happiness of others. He appreciates all the things that everyone else has done for him, and now he's trying to pay everyone back in a sense that he wants everyone else to keep their spirits up, and also to protect them, because that is the best thing that you can do at the moment. And I really like that. I think it's an interesting way to grieve in a situation. It's quite a serious situation, and there's not a lot of things that can be done at the moment other than just making sure that everybody feels well and dealing with the problem that is, Glotta. We see this when Rakia has a bit of a evaluation of this whole moment. He thinks about what is it that he wants to do right now. Like, does he just want to enact revenge? Is that all that he wants to do now? Like, because again, after he does that, is that it? Is he just gonna, like, go home? When he speaks to Glotta towards the end of the episode, he has this moment where he essentially says, you know what, this entire time all I was just thinking about is revenge, revenge, revenge. But after coming to this world and seeing all the things that are happening, the one thing that I need to do right now is to help everyone, is to be a good person and to protect as many people as I can from people like you. And in a situation, a new Gochizo was made. You can say they procreated, but no, there's just a handful. Okay. And this Gochizo is what allows Ram to turn into a la mode. Mode. This form is pretty cool. It's in the shape of this, like, parfait. Like, the whole silver is just for the tray, and he has, like, all these decorations on him. I think it's quite nice. And the main utility of this form is his defensiveness, which I think is pretty nice. And you can see that he's not holding back at all. He is straight up aura farming. I love this fight so much. Again, Rakia is just the king of fights in the show. Like, he's just like, he pushes Glotta around, does not care. One time she falls down and he's just like sitting there like, I just find it funny. Like, this guy does not care at all. And I love it especially when Araki tries to do a finisher and he pulls up the lever and he's just walking like, bro, How can you, this guy, find it so entertaining? Glotta is finished, okay? She's finished this time. And towards the end of that episode, we see Glotta just laying about on the floor, thinking, is this it? And she thinks she's hallucinating because she sees Lango holding her. But no, Lango's still alive. He survived after all that happened between him and Shoma. And he realizes of what happened, and he says, I will swear to bring back Stomach Family Inc. to its glory. And that's where we end up. Again, the main thing to note from this is the way that Rakia has come full circle, from just being this one note, I just want to kill the person that killed my brother, to I just want to be a good person overall. Because again, at the start, he didn't do a lot of good things. He kidnapped a lot of people just for the sake of finding his brother, which is fine, but at the same time, is that really what you want to do? Is that like you're doing the same things that your brother did, and your brother died because he didn't want to do those things anymore? So I like that. And then the thing with Glotta, again, I spoke about how I feel, but I just too late, in my opinion, too late. All right, 3 episodes left. Let's speak about episodes 41 and 42, where we see a hooded figure lying about with the Kamen Rider Bacon. He's just shooting it around, telling people to do random stuff. And the team is just a bit confused because, all these people are just doing random stuff. Not really, are they being manipulated? What, is the Granule power? They're doing a lot of research trying to find out what's happening in the meantime. And we see that Neov has got hands on this. He's scheming something. Again, this guy's just standing there, thinks he's doing something, and then his plan fails. Like, come on, do something, bro. Now we also see Boca is having a bit of a conversation with Neov again with the situation of Glotta dead. He now wants to create a farm out of the human world, and Neov's like, okay, but how? And Boca's like, well, don't worry, I got a solution for you. And he brings what looks like a corpse of a Granule. And we later find out that it is a Granule that wanted to overtake Boca, but Boca killed him, And we see that the power of this Granule is hypnosis. And Neo's like, okay, I can do something with this. And this is when we realize that this hooded figure is using the power of that Granule. But why are they hooded? Like, who is this? Now, in the meantime, we see that Hanto is continuing his research onto Shoma's family. He's looking up a lot of Inoue family members. One of the people that he confronts is the sweet shop owner. I wonder why. So we find out that Shoma's mum left university one day and she just disappeared. This is probably when Shoma's dad interfered in all this stuff, and she was known for snacking, taking after her son. And so look, we basically realize that that person is Shoma's uncle. Now for the rest of I forgot his name, so we're just gonna call him Shoma's uncle. So I'm not gonna lie, I like the reveal, but at the same time we've known him for like 10 episodes already. Okay. I never saw that coming, guys. The sweet shop thing wasn't obvious enough. Also, we have Jeep thinking of turning into Shita again, but realizing that he has got a modified Gavv, he doesn't want to do it because he's like, the audacity of turning into Shita in this, and this was like, no, you'll always be cute, you'll always be nice, and I'm just like, what? We see the trio, they interact with this hooded figure and Neov, and we find out that the hooded figure is Sugar. So Neov took Sugar in, when he was nearly dead, and he was using him as an experiment. He combined the remains of this Granule with Sugar to turn him into a bitter Gavv. And Neov also states that when trying to put on the belt, he died. As if thanks, Neil. And again, like, such a weird guy. I mean, I guess you can say they got along quite well. You know, Sugar and Neil, people that don't care about people's lives, right? Yeah. So we see that they're trying to use Sugar with the power of this Granny to turn, you know, to hypnotize these people to do their bidding, and also just compile more human compressors. And obviously, the trio's having none of it. This is when we get a triple henshin. Pretty cool. And unfortunately, that goes nowhere because somehow Sugar, quote unquote, manipulates Hanto into killing Rakia and Shoma. And that's when we end up the episode. We also see that Neo's power set, we see that he creates this pool of toxin, which is cool. And he even licks it off himself. He's like, so bitter. Why are you looking at them? So yeah, this is when we move on to episode 42, where things are getting a bit chaotic, okay? Neo modifies the gun, name please, and he tells all these humans, including Shoma's uncle, to gather at the Kazami coastline, some random coastline. And this is all to get them killed. I don't know, like they were just like still going to the water. I thought they were just gonna compress them like at that point, but no, they were just walking into the water. And okay, so that, you know, obviously they're not having any of it. And but I'm going a bit ahead of them. So before they get to that coastline, we see that they're trying to tame Hanto. Okay, they're trying to calm him down. So Raki didn't want to do this, but he uses toxin to calm Hanto down so that he can put him, you know, just have him chill at Sugar's old place. And they tie him up and say, "Look, we'll fix you, okay?" But this is when we have a bit of a montage of Hanto's inner consciousness fighting with each other. You know, we have one side that says, "Look, this is not you. Wake up, man." And the other side, you know, the hypnotized part of Hanto that says, "You need to kill Shoma and Rakia. You need to kill them. Now, now, now." And Hanto's like, "Oh." They just have like a quick fight. And Hanto essentially wakes up towards the end of the episode, realizing what is right. And he was quite surprised. He's like, "You broke out of my hypnosis?" And he's like, "Yeah, I told you I'm going to be better than, I told you I'm going to be the best human that I can be with only my power." Nice callback to that episode. Now we also see that Sachika is trying to investigate and find this hooded man, even though she was also low-key told to not go outside, you know, unless she would be manipulated. But she sees a hooded man, and she's trying to record them, and then they turn around, and it's Lango. He's like, "Who the fuck?" And Sachika's like, "Oh no, sorry. But she realizes that she has met this guy before. Remember back in the early episodes, Lango's just walking about, and Sachika gets a bit of a shiver. I think that scene could have been done a bit better, to be honest. That was a callback. But anyway, now Sachika is going. She sees all these people that are at the coastline, and Rakia has no other choice because, you know, they're basically like killing themselves if they just walk into the water. He used all the toxins to calm everyone down, and Sachika is essentially shocked, which I kind of get, but at the same time, like, she knew that he was a Granute, so I don't know why she's that surprised about, like, he was doing a good thing. He's trying to prevent people from dying, so I don't know why that was like such a big focus. Like, she knew that he was a Granute, but okay. And yeah, I mean, the episode essentially ends with the trio defeating Sugar 2.0. He dies properly this time, and the weapon also gets destroyed, meaning that the people that were manipulated have come back to their senses. And we have this weird scene where 4 random people, Shoma's uncle included, they see the trio and they're like, "Oh, who is this?" And Sachika's just doing like some Kamen Rider PR. She's like, "Yo guys, these are like the good, you know, the good guys." And I'm just like, okay. Alright, episode 43. That's one. We see that Shoma's uncle wants to speak to Hanto about the situation. And this is also when Hanto speaks to Shoma, saying that, "Look, I have found your uncle, and like, you know, this it's that guy." and Shoma is a bit hesitant about this. You know, I get it. You know, like you have this guy that hasn't seen their sister in like 20 years, just to find out that one, they disappeared to this random world. They have they have this kid, they're half like Guanyu, half human. Like it would be a lot to process, especially at this time, because we see like the Shoma's uncle. He goes into Happy Party and he's having a bit of a fit. He's like, "Oh, they took her and all this stuff." And um, honestly, in that moment, it seemed as though Shoma was just gonna say, "Actually, I am your nephew." Like he was gonna explain things, but things just kind of spiraled out, and nothing came out from that. Which again, it just shows how much Shoma is worried about opening himself up even after all this. Like he's comfortable with the people that he knows now, but he's just a bit worried about opening up more, especially to someone that is related to his deceased mom. So I understand. I understand the struggle. I think it's I think he still needs some time. I mean, all of these things have probably happened in a matter of like what 6 to 9 months. Like, so it's a bit too excessive. Let's give this guy some. Let's give this guy a bit of a break. Okay. I did forget to mention in the last two-parter, we finally see Neo's granite form, and I'm not gonna lie, favorite granite form. I think it looks pretty good. Okay. Alango's is cool, but like he has like a big chest. Editor's laughing. So and Glottis is fine. Just the okay, and the twins they're okay as well. But Neo, like for like a skinny guy like him to turn into like a I don't know like a macho like Ranyu, like I don't know. I just like the design. Now the main thing in this episode is that Booker decides to go into the human world. He wants to do a bit of an investigation, and Lizzle's like, "Yeah, let's go, let's go." And he's talking about the metal and the rocks, and he's like, "Oh, these humans just made it into like pointless hives, because again, this is what they eat." And Lizzle's like, "Oh no, why would we eat this? So this is, this is like rubbish and all this stuff." No, I think she says like, "Oh, these like precious things that they've made of whatever." It's not she cares. And Booker's like, "Yeah, we'll just give it to like the lower class people." But like, look, let me just like do some investigation. We see that the is it the main trio? I don't know. I think no. I think it's Rakia first confronts them. He meets Lizzo and he says, "Who is this with you?" And Rakia gets beat up by the two servants of Booker. So again, we can see the power set of this guy. And then we see Shoma and Hantu try to confront them. They beat the butlers, servants or whatever. But then Booker he does just like a one-off shot, and they're annihilated. They just finished. And Booker's just like disappointed. He's like, "Is this it? This is the people that you were hyping up?" You can see that this guy is a little bit strong. Just saying. But I mean, that's the main thing that happens in that episode. Just the other things that happen. We see a bit of a moment where Shoma's uncle reminisces the time that he has spent with his sister. While she was in university, he would work in an office, and he would ask her, why you just eating all this?" And she's like, "Well, you have to enjoy yourself, and also sweets go into the stomach." Oh yeah, that was quite nice. And he basically tells Shoma that he quit his job after all that happened, and it's the reason why he started his sweet shop, which I think is quite nice. And we end the episode with Neo thinking about the power set of Jeep using Bitter Gav's powers, and Shoma realizing that Shoma is way stronger than Jeep will ever be, and he's thinking, maybe I should seek out help from someone else. And I think we're leaning on to Neo having some other thoughts, but it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you should watch these episodes yourself and find out about what has happened. So, anyway, nearly done. I'm doing a bit of a special. We are going to talk about the movie next time. We're not going to talk about the last 6 episodes, so stay tuned for that. And That's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.